All right, YouTube, we are back for another video. I hope everybody is doing good on this lovely day. Just want to get back on here to not only continue recording these series, but to also let you guys know what's going on. I'll be honest, I do not remember what day it is that I haven't been working, but it is almost going to be basically 2 weeks since I got fired. Friday, tomorrow, will be the 2-week anniversary of me losing my job. And I can definitely say these past couple of days I've been regretting more than ever the fact that I made that big of a blunder and allowed myself to get fired. I have been applying to several jobs, as you've seen, and the number of jobs that I've applied to has not only risen, but I've also been able to score more interviews. But at the same time, I've also been getting more denials. I think it was Monday, but Monday alone I got a total of 4 rejection emails from jobs that I applied to. And I'll be honest, that was definitely dampering on my confidence, because I would say that I have a lot of useful skills, especially due to the fact that I have a lot of management experience. Although the management experience is in the fast food industry, I still consider that to be very useful to several companies. But at the same time, I can definitely say it's been harder to find a job that not only meets the demands of a salary and or pay rate that I like, but is also willing to not only accept me, but process me forward in terms of interviews. So this week was definitely one where it showed me that losing my job was definitely the biggest mistake that I made in the year 2025. And also it's showing me that this is the last mistake that I need to make in the year 2025. I don't really care about what else is going on right now. I don't care about what's going on in the world. I don't care about what's happening to anybody else. But if I'm being very honest, I'm at the point where even before I lost my job, I was very sick of how my life was going to a certain extent. But now that I don't really have any income coming in, and I'm also seeing now more than ever how me putting other people's feelings before the needs and or feelings of my own has not only derailed my progress in certain ways, but it's also showed me that I don't have anybody to rely on but myself. Yes, I have my family, but I can't expect my family to help me pay my bills. So for the most part, I've been mentally struggling, accepting the fact that I really allowed this to happen to myself. But it's also just given me the strength and resolve to not only get something going, but to continue doing the things that I've wanted to do that's going to get me to where I want to be. That's one of the reasons why I continue to not only make these YouTube channels. That's not only the reason why I decided to start my YouTube back, but I want to document one of the hardest moments that I'm facing in my life, and that's me losing my job and also trying to find a new one. So this morning today, I had an interview with the rental company Enterprise as an account manager. I was told that they only hire from within, and or promote from within, not hire from within, promote from within. So if, for example, everybody starts at the same level, so anybody that I would see that's in a higher position than me, they started where I was. So that's going to be a $24.61 an hour pay rate, which is not bad for what I was making, but it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to getting, because it would be in the finance space, but it would also have to do with cars, something that I like. So definitely excited for that, because I went through the first interview this morning, which was on the Google Teams, and even at that moment, the person who interviewed me was very nice and kind, and they also just pushed me through to the second interview, because it's going to be a 3-step hiring process. I have to go through 3 interviews, and I'm now pushed forward onto the second interview. So definitely excited about that, and if I could land that job, that's going to be one that's not only going to allow me to continue to study and or make my YouTube videos, but it's not going to take away the time that I have from going to the gym or wanting to study trading and or create my YouTube videos. So I'm happy about that. But tomorrow, being Friday, the 2-week anniversary of me getting fired, I have an interview with Playa Bowls, which is a food place. I have an interview there for general manager, so that one is going to be a max salary of 85,000. So I'm going to make sure that I do just as well on the interview that I did today as I do on the interview tomorrow, so that I can increase my chances of possibly getting that job. Because although that job will definitely be more time consuming, it's going to pay more. So with my mindset of trying to save up money, it's going to definitely propel me a lot forward in my financial journey. So that's why I'm excited to interview for that one. On top of that, I'm also going to be going in the morning to the financial advisor position that I applied for. I not only passed that interview, but they now want to bring me in for the round two, which is going to be observing the office building, talking to some financial advisors, and getting a look at compensation and how people work in terms of getting paid for that position. Because a financial advisor position is definitely one that you can definitely make a lot of money at, but it's one you have to also be very dedicated and be a very certain type of person in order to do well, because it does involve sales. It involves talking to a lot of people, so you have to be willing to be somebody who's outgoing, who understands the needs of others, and is willing to talk in a way that's going to be not only persuasive, but also allow you to convey whatever service you want to offer that person. So that's another reason why I'm excited for that one. So the top three right now are the account manager position at Enterprise. I have the general manager position at Pliables that I will be interviewing for, and then the financial advisor position that I will be continuing tomorrow. On top of that, I went Monday for an interview for a restaurant manager position at Chili's. So I'm still waiting to hear back on that, because out of the 75 applicants, I was told there will be 20 that will be moved on to the round two of interviews. And based on how well I did, since I interviewed with the area director, if you know what an area director is, I live in New York, so basically the area director is the person in charge of all the stores in that particular location. So I interviewed with the area director who's in charge of all the chili stores in that location. So he's the person who's hired and gone through majority of the managers. So instead of interviewing with a regular manager, I interviewed with the person who hires the managers, which in my opinion increased my chances of looking better as an applicant and as a potential candidate to be hired. So definitely excited about that, waiting to hear back from those. But right now I just have those four. I have Chili's, I have Enterprise, I have Pliables, which I will be interviewing for tomorrow, and then the financial advisor position, which I'm going to go tomorrow and learn more about the compensation. So right now I'm just here to talk with one of my bros. He's a very successful individual himself. He does trading, and he's been teaching me and trying to help me get better, because on top of me wanting a high earning regular job, I also want to find a way to make money that's not having to do with a 9 to 5. And the thing that I've been interested most in, besides content creation, is being able to but being able to learn and be a profitable trader, because trading is something that you can do anywhere at any time from anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection and as long as you have money. Yo, I'm outside.
Alright, boy.
He's on his way.
Alright, nigga.
All right. So yeah, that was him on the phone. He's gonna come outside and we're gonna chop it up. We have I have somewhere to take him to, and he wants to go somewhere, so just gonna have him do that, because although he does make a lot of money, he prefers not to drive, which I understand, and that's something I don't really need to talk about. But I like to have somebody like him in my corner, because he's somebody who's not only financially literate, but he's also very successful for somebody at a young age. And it's not often, especially in the environment that I live in, that you see somebody so successful at his stature at the age he's at. He's younger than I am. I'm 25, he's 24, but at the same time, he's been able to touch more money and create more money than most adults that I know. So having someone like him in my personal corner is definitely a reason why I've been more motivated and more keyed into understanding my finances and putting myself in the position where I'm supposed to be. So when he gets out here, I'll continue the video, but had to just catch you guys up on what's been going on and what I've been dealing with since I've been, unemployed for the moment. And this is my friend in term speaking. Very successful, very young. Y'all never seen a man like him who touches as much money as him. But at the same time, he is one of my biggest inspirations to not only continuing to be successful, but he's shown me that one of the things you just need to do is really just believe in yourself, but at the same time not care too much about what anyone else is doing or what other people say. Because a lot of the times, and this is one thing I've come to realize, is that most people aren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the more you focus on other people, the less you really understand what you need to be doing for yourself. Because at the end of the day, everybody's on their own journey. So you really do need to understand what best fits you and what's going to help you get to where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, especially if you're a man living in America, you need to understand, and you should understand, that nobody's going to get you what you want but yourself. Nobody's going to get you where you need to be but yourself. And if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do to get you where you want to be, you don't really have the right to complain, because you're somebody who realistically isn't dumb. You have a brain. But at the same time, due to the comfortability we all have in America, and due to how some of us still live with our parents, we don't have that sense of urgency or feel the need to work as hard as we should to get the things that we want to, until more often than not it's too late and you're living a life you don't want to live. And I can definitely say, I'm somebody who's definitely been in positions where I've had to do what I need to do in order to get to where I want to be. But I did have the comfortability of that high paying job keeping me in a position where I would say I shouldn't have been. So losing that job wasn't honestly the worst thing, but it did show me that I need to constantly be putting in the effort to understand where I want to go, because the more that I've seen I choose to care about others and or focus on what others are doing and how others think, I've been seeing how it's not allowed me to focus on myself in certain ways. Especially in the fact that, I let myself get fired due to the fact that I was very emotional and overly emotional about how I felt about somebody, regardless of the fact that that person didn't have those same feelings for me and or reciprocate anything that I wanted. So me doing that was definitely a big L, but it also showed me that as a man, you need to be very conscious of how you use your emotions and understand how you need to go about handling your emotions, because it only makes sense to do what's necessary, especially when it comes to making big decisions. I made a decision that was definitely one I shouldn't have made, but at the end of the day, I do feel like it, they say those things, that things happen for a reason. This definitely did happen for a reason, and I'm definitely going to make use of it happening, because it's shown me that I need to push myself harder to get to where I want to be. So I want to let my friend talk real quick and let him give some words of wisdom, since he's definitely at a point where most people would not be able to relate.
Go fuck yourselves.
No, dead ass. But like he wants to say, focus on yourself. I'm pretty sure that's what he really just is gonna say. You gotta focus on yourself. At the end of the day, and I'm realizing this every day, if you don't put in the effort to get what you want, you just can't complain, because it's nobody's fault but your own. And I'm definitely somebody who doesn't want to complain about where he's at in life, because he didn't put in the effort to do what he wanted to do. That's why you see me making these videos. I have always thought of what it would be like for me to be a content creator and what I could do as a content creator. So instead of thinking, I just gotta do. The more I put out videos, the more I can see what I can do. Yes, one of the things that I am intimidated a lot by is editing, but the more I get better at it, the more it'll be easier and it won't be as scary. Because a lot of the times the only reason why things are scary are because they're new. And once you do things over and over for a certain amount of time, they don't become scary because they're not new anymore. And that's definitely one thing I'm taking into when it comes to like trading. I can definitely say I've hesitated and or been scared to do certain things when it comes to trading, because I've always second guessed my ability. But I also know that I'm the type of person that when it comes to working hard at something, my work ethic is almost unmatched. So I just need to have that same mindset when it comes to trading, because trading is one of those very few things that can do what I want to do, which is give you access to make endless amounts of money regardless of who you are or where you're coming from in life. So that's a very valuable skill and or asset to me. And that's one thing I want to take advantage of because of the time frame and the age that I'm living in. I don't know if you know, but we're living in the age of technology, the age of the internet. So you have to take advantage and be very understanding of what's going on. If you know you have certain goals of success that you want to achieve, you have to be willing to put in the work to get those goals. Don't complain, just understand the hard work that needs to be done. All right, and we are back. So I just dropped my friend off. I just had to take him to the store just to pick up something real quick because, like I said, he doesn't drive right now, but he does plan to get a car in the future. He has some issues with driving that he doesn't really want to drive right now. He prefers to walk, and I respect that too because before I got a car, I walked a lot too. So he's just used to that. But I wanted to get him on here and at least see if he wanted to say anything because he's very successful. He does trading and he has his own business in terms of that. So he definitely knows what it takes in order to get to where you want to be. He knows how much hard work and effort is required in order to build something. And he's definitely been somebody who's inspired me to not only reach my potential, but also to not overthink and doubt myself in any way. Because at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of, and I also know the value that I'm able to bring to not only myself but the world. And there's so many positive attributes that I have within myself, but due to how I've been scared of how other people may see me or what other people may think of the things that I do, I've allowed myself to be sheltered and closed-minded in terms of how I operate. But now that I've had certain things happen in my life where I've either chosen to not do certain things or let certain people affect how I've had outcomes play out in my life, I'm not at a point anymore where I'm going to let anybody's thoughts or decisions affect what I want to do. I'm becoming very selfish, and selfish in the sense that I care about me. I care about what I want, and if that has nothing to do with me or isn't a direct thing that's going to like be a factor in anyone else that I care about's life, I don't care about it. Realistically, especially since I'm not working right now, the only thing that I care about is making more money. Yes, I'm going to get a job eventually by the end of the month, but even once I get this job, I'm only going to be focused on making money at this job. Not only that, but I'm also just going to be focused on going to the gym and making my content. I don't really care about helping other people. I don't care about doing things that's going to like make me look better or do whatever. I'm at a point where I just want to take care of myself and put myself in a position where I can have and get anything that I want. And until I do that, I'm not going to be satisfied. So worrying about other people is not going to help me right now. Doing things that's going to help anybody, that's not going to benefit me right now. What I need to do are all the things that will help and benefit me, because once I get to where I'm supposed to be, then I can focus on helping other people because I know the type of person that I am. But right now, due to the fact that I can barely help myself, I'd be pretty useless to most people right now if I tried to help them. So I'm not going to focus on helping other people. I'm going to focus on helping myself. And that's what I want you to do who's watching this video. I want you to understand all the things that are stopping you, all the things that you are doing that are stopping yourself, and all the areas of your life that may be hindering you, whether it's your parents, whether it's your siblings, the people you hang around with. If there's anything that you feel or genuinely know that's not allowing you to do what you're supposed to be doing, I want you to cut that out of your life because it's going to only bring you down and it's not going to progress you. At the end of the day, you are a human being. You are somebody who's not supposed to be regressing. You are supposed to be progressing. And a lot of times that you feel and see the regression in your life, it's due to the comfortability that we all have living in America because of how easy certain things are in this country. But that also just needs to be a reminder that you need to constantly be working hard, because the moment you feel comfortable and the moment you feel like everything's okay, that's when the worst things start to happen. And that's what I've come to realize. I was already comfortable at my job. I wasn't really trying harder to make more money or do things to be more financially literate, and I was just spending my money in any way that I felt necessary. So now that I've lost that job and that opportunity, I'm not only grateful for having had that opportunity, but I understand what I need to do once I get another opportunity of being able to earn money. I need to be more financially literate and save more, but I also need to not waste my money and or spend it in an area that's not going to benefit me. Because as of right now, the main things that I want to focus on is not only investing, but also trading. So when it comes to my finances and what I'm going to be doing in terms of my money when I get working again, I'm going to not only be investing, but I'm going to be putting my money towards trading because that's what I want to focus on. Trading is something that will not only give you financial freedom, but it's one of the few skills that you can learn that will allow you to make money regardless of where you are, regardless of what time of day it is, and regardless of what situation you're facing in your life. You'll be able to make money literally for yourself, by yourself, because you won't have to rely on anybody else but yourself and the skills that you've gained while understanding trading. So that's why I'm taking that very seriously, and I'm going to do anything and everything that it takes in order to become a profitable trader. I want everybody who's watching these videos to understand what you need to be doing, but to also put it in mind that you need to get these skills down pat and put yourself in a position where you don't have to rely on a 9 to 5 constantly. So everybody who's watching this video, the key things that I want you to take from it is focus on yourself. And by focusing on yourself, I want you to understand what's going to get you where you want to be, understand what you want to do for yourself, and cut out all distractions that are hindering you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. I also want you to not only continue to be appreciative of where you are. If you have a job that you may not like, I want you to be appreciative of that, because God forbid you lose that job today, you will see how hard it is to get another job, as I am now seeing how hard it is to get another job. But you also just need to always be constantly self-aware and learning about what it takes to get yourself to the next position. If you have goals, if you have aspirations, do not hesitate in order to take action on those goals and their aspirations. Do what you need to do, because that's what's going to get you where you want to be. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on another video.